Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome to another edition of Gen Sports Corner back at you for 9/27/2021. Monday Night Football. Eagles travel down to Jerry World to take on the Cowboys. Monday Night Football spectacle. So we ready for this. We ready. You know what it is when it's Dallas week up here. It gets crazy. In the build up, we're almost there. 8:15 start time. It's almost time. So let's get into the game, the matchups, talk a little bit of sports, shall we? So, Eagles coming off a loss, 17-11 loss last week versus the 49ers. Played a very good game, made mistakes. It's understandable. They're a young team with a young coach, but they did a lot of really good things. I like what they were able to do in terms of playing physical with a very physical 49ers team. They didn't back down. They hit us, we hit them right back. It was a very high level chess match with two teams that seem like they're going places this year. So I like what I saw out of this Eagles team. Even with the mistakes, I saw more good than bad, even in the loss. And now we move on to face the Cowboys. Cowboys having a very interesting year so far. They are 1-1 as well, and I believe they had like a last second field goal last week against Chargers. So they played pretty well, even in the loss. In week one, Dak Prescott put up over 400 yards, and he looked really good. He had 3 or 4 touchdowns. He's really been slinging the ball around. CeeDee Lamb's been active. Cooper, we know what he brings. He's been active. They both got a lot of production. Ezekiel Elliott is splitting carries in the backfield now with Tony Pollard and a running back by committee approach. And it's smart. You know, you want to get the most out of both of these guys. Zeke obviously being the physical between tackles running back, and Tony Pollard being explosive. You have to watch him. He has a quick burst. He's able to hit the corner on these zone runs and take off. So you have to be able to set the edge against him and not let him go wild. So those are two of the things we're going to be looking for with them running behind this O-line. But on the flip side, let's look at the Eagles, our O-line. Very interesting to see what it's gonna look like today. Landon Dickerson getting his first start. So he came in during the San Francisco 49ers game when Brandon Brooks went out with that torn pectoral muscle, or what we found out later to be a torn pectoral muscle. And according to Lane Johnson, they're really close. He's going to be out for about 8 weeks. So not the whole season, but he will be out 8 weeks. So we'll get a chance to see him come back, and hopefully we'll be in a good spot come that time. But we'll also be able to see how Landon Dickerson does, because we drafted him this year out of Alabama. He wouldn't have dropped to the second round if he didn't have all the injuries in college. And he's flat out might be one of the top O linemen in that draft. So he had some good spots last week against San Fran. Didn't hear his name a whole lot, which tends to be a good thing for O linemen. You don't want to hear their name because it's usually for a holding penalty or something that you don't want to see, like them getting beat on the edge. So, I'm really interested to see how he goes up against this Cowboys, D line. They have a pretty good front seven. Now, DeMarcus Lawrence, he did break the foot. He is out. That's a big loss for them, just like Brandon Graham was a huge loss for us. So you're going to have that D line without him. But they do have Micah Parsons, who's another person that I had on my radar during last, I think, May, April, whatever, this April's draft. He was somebody I had on the board for who I wanted the Eagles to draft. They got Devontae Smith, so that's fine. We did great there. But Michael Parsons was somebody else that was on my radar. The guy's a freak athlete, really fast, sideline to sideline linebacker, and he actually have him playing down as a defensive end, screaming off the edge. And he put a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert last week. And they also have Keanu Neal from ex-Falcon. He's actually out tonight, so he's not going to be in the starting lineup for them. That's another big loss. And then they have a good defensive tackle. I can't remember his name, but he's pretty good pass rusher. So we have our work cut out for us. But even though Jordan Mailata is also out, which is big, Andre Dillard is going to get his chance to start and show what he has. Because unlike the popular sentiment about him, he actually played pretty solid on the left side when he got the chance to play last year. We just remember him from being on the right side and not really looking like he knew what he was doing. And he even said as much going into the game that I'm just not good at playing right tackle. It's different. And it showed. But on the left side, he actually looked pretty good at times in pass coverage. So I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup with him and Micah Parsons at times because they're going to move him around the front to try to look for matchups. So you better best believe that Michael Parsons is going to get some pass rushes against Andre Dillard. And I'm looking for Andre Dillard to be able to make a statement and shut him down, keep him quiet tonight. That's what I want to see. Now, on the Eagles side of the ball on defense, we lost Brandon Graham. Huge blow. However, we just signed Josh Sweat to a 3-year contract last week, and he came out and showed up and showed improved. Like boom, instant production. So you have Josh Sweat and Kerrigan at that left end spot, and I want to see what he does with that. I don't know if I want to see what he does with that. I really want to see. He might play there at times. Like they might move Barnett over to where Brandon Graham was, but you're gonna have. I want to see where Kerrigan's at. I want to see where Kerrigan's at. This is one of the reasons we got him for depth and pass rushing ability. And boy, is he going to be thrown into the fire. He's going to get a lot more snaps now. So I want to see Ryan Kerrigan step up. I want to see him get after Dakota. I want to see him bring him to the ground. I want to see him celebrate like he used to when he sacked Carson Wentz a lot last year. Okay? So that's the matchup there. Big injury, that's the matchup. And now looking at that Cowboys secondary, that is the biggest matchup in my opinion because you look at this Cowboys defense. They're not your defense of last year. They're different. They're somewhat revamped. Really good linebacker core with Michael Parsons and Vander Esch. They fly. However, that secondary still leaves something to be desired. With what's his name? We didn't get him the year prior. The cornerback. The Cowboys just drafted him. Don't remember, but second-year player. He's okay. He's been playing solid. And then they have another cornerback who is I don't know average. But the one thing about the Cowboys is this year they like to play a lot of man coverage. They like to play a lot of man coverage. And if we can get our speed matched up with them on the outside, Quez Watkins, Devonta Smith, if we can get those one-on-one matchups consistently, I like those odds. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see how they play this Eagles team because with Jalen Hurts, you got to be honest. You have to be honest playing him. Very dynamic with his legs, obviously. And we have a lot of weapons on this offense. And then conversely, you look at that Eagles defense. We play a lot of too high safety, a lot of too high looks. And we bring people up to stop the run. So what I've been seeing is the Eagles and Gannon, he likes to allow you to make long, sustained drives down the field. How many plays can you go without making a mistake? Make a mental error. Can you go 10, 12 plays every drive and beat us that way? That's a very tough task. It's a very tall task to do in the NFL. And I've liked what I've seen out of this defense before because you have the personnel to pull that off. You have Fletcher Cox in the middle, and then his partner in crime, Javon Hargraves, who has been playing out of his mind. He has been the D tackle that we thought we were getting when we signed him last year in free agency from the Steelers. He has been a one-man wrecking machine, blowing up guys at the line of scrimmage, just ragdolling guys at times. And, I mean, in the first game against the Falcons, number 77, their rookie guard, he was traumatized between trying to stop Javon Hargraves and Fletcher Cox. They were just tossing him around like a small child. And they have been wreaking havoc up the middle. So that is going to be huge in trying to shut down running lanes for Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in that run game. And then on the outside, like I said, I want to see Kerrigan and Josh Sweat put some pressure on Dak Prescott from the outside. And the cornerbacks have been playing pretty well this season. I like what I see out of them. Slay is playing out. Here's a bold prediction. I'm looking for Darius Slay to get one interception today. That's one of my predictions. Because he's going to be seeing a lot of Amari Cooper. He shadowed Amari Cooper a lot when he was in Detroit with much success, actually. And I know Amari was hurt in one or both of those games, but still, he was all over him. So that's the matchup I'm looking on the defensive side for the Eagles. And those are pretty much the big things that stuck out in my mind. So football is won in the trenches, and I think the Eagles are a little bit stronger on both sides of the ball in the trenches. I think that it's a pretty even matchup. I think that our defense is going to be able to get a little bit more pressure on Dallas than Dallas' defense is going to be able to get pressure on Jalen Hurts, even with Malata out. So that's why I'm going to go with the Eagles in this game. I think the Cowboys are 3 or 4 point favorites. I'm picking the Eagles to upset the Cowboys down in Jerry World. I think they'll be able to win a close game against this team because I think we're going to be able to run the ball as well and have some sustained drives. So that's my thoughts on this game. But the Cowboys are a very good team, and I think it's probably between the Eagles and the Cowboys as to who comes out of this division. Washington, they look like they came back down to earth. We saw that yesterday. And then the Giants, they are 0-3 now, man. They just lost to the Falcons. We stomped the hell out of the Falcons. And what happened to the Giants against the Falcons? They lost by a field goal. They're 0-3. Somebody's O had to go, and it wasn't the Giants. We know that. So it looks like the Eagles and the Cowboys are clear-cut teams that look like they're going to lead the pack in this race to the crown for the NFC East. I don't think it's the NFC East anymore like it was last year. I think it's back to being the NFC East. So that's my predictions. Let me know what you think. Oh yeah, and I picked the Raiders yesterday. Oh, let's talk about that. The Raiders game went into OT. Did not need to go there. We were up 25-17, and somehow the Dolphins found a way to come down and score, get a 2-point conversion, and we had to take it to overtime. And thankfully, we were able to make some plays and win that game. That was just, we were 3-0. I'm so proud of the team so far. They're really turning it up in season 2 under John Gruden, just like he did when he came to Oakland in '97. He turned that franchise around. First season was second one looked a lot better. Third one, boom, we perennial contender. And then that big kick, dog, was it 66 or 68 yards by Justin Tucker, who, making kicks like that. Forget what he's done over his career. He's been a phenomenal kicker. But making that type of kick, he might end up going down as the best kicker in NFL history. The Lions are cursed. They did everything in their power to beat that Ravens team. They were on Lamar's. They were on that man. And it came down to a 60 NFL record. NFL record for longest field goal. And it hits the bottom of the crossbar. And then flips in. Like, what? If you saw a still shot of the Lions fans as soon as the ball bounced and started going over, just you could see the soul leaving out of each and every person in that stand. I felt so bad for them. It's just like they can't win. There's a permanent black cloud hovering over Detroit. I hope they get, man, between them and the Jets, those situations are just tragic. So, man, a lot of crazy games yesterday. A lot of teams winning that. My whole pick slate got jacked up because some of those teams, they just wowed me. They were winning. Nobody saw them winning. Nobody saw the Cardinals. They won, but nobody saw them falling early and giving the Jaguars a lead. That was just like, yesterday was just topsy-turvy. But such is life. It's good that there's parity in the league. You don't want like one or two teams where nobody can beat them. Oh, the Chiefs lost as well. Look at them Chargers. Chargers got a win over the Chiefs in Arrowhead, man. How about that? Justin Herbert. Good stuff. Even as a Raiders fan, it's like seeing two cats fight, and you're just sitting back with your popcorn, just watching these guys tear each other apart. And division rivals. It is what it is. But Justin Herbert, man, he's a really good quarterback. Him and Mahomes are going to be there for years to come. Hopefully, Derek Carr is as well. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. And about time to get ready for this game. I'm about to go out, get some pizza, get my mind right, and get ready for an Eagles dub. And I'll also be making a video about the Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua fight. Classic fight, phenomenal fight. Both guys just, I mentioned it yesterday. Both guys were phenomenal. It reminded me of what boxing is supposed to be, what it should be moving in the future. So that's my thoughts on that. Leave your thoughts, comments, concerns. Go over to YouTube, Gen Music 856. The playlist is Gen Sports Corner. Go ahead, check out the videos, like, subscribe, and yeah, click that notification bell so you can be updated every time I drop a video on there. Till next time, people. Peace.